Hey guys, Gene here, and here for you today, part 4 of the Rebirth of Glory card review. First off, we're going to start off with a card that has been updated since it got the official English text. Icarus now says that fanfare, you put a random artifact card that costs 1 playing point less from your deck into your hand. This is much better because, that you could add anything you want from your deck to your hand, be it the 1-mana one that searches the artifacts, or it could be like augmented bestowal. So it's pretty nuts. So yeah, I'm more excited about it now for Portalcraft. And now we're gonna get into the newer stuff, starting off with Unica, Unicorn Maiden. It's a 2-mana 2/2 silver neutral follower. Has strike whenever this follower attacks, restore 2 defense to your leader. So basically, it is the usual Unica we always adored and loved, but instead of during your start of your turn, it's now just when it attacks. Basically it. Next we have Tender Rabbit Healer, 1-mana 1/1 bronze Haven follower. Fanfare, restore 1 defense to all allies, and enhance 7, gain +4/+4, and restore 4 defense instead. So for 1-mana 1/1, you heal all your allies, which is very good, especially since with another card they're going to talk about later. And the enhanced 7 is also very good, restoring 4 defense to all allies for 7 mana, and it's a 5/5 body. It's just pretty good. It's like a much better cure rate at that point. Next we have Jetbroom Witch, 2-mana 1/3 bronze Runecraft follower, and has the Machina trait. Fanfare, put either an assembly droid or repair mode into your hand. This card's very good for the Machina deck, especially since with the new 5-mana 3/4 that restores a play point every time you play a Machina card. This helps with comboing off with that sort of deck. But I have yet to see like a good solid win con for the Machina decks. Probably Ginger and like Zeus, but we'll see. Next we have Emmylou Smilemancer, 3-mana 2/3 silver follower for Runecraft. Fanfare, summon an Earth Essence, and whenever Earth Sigil comes into play, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader, and same effect on evolve. This card seems pretty good for the Earth rate decks. We shall see where this goes with those cards. The card seems pretty good though. 3-mana 2/3 is a fine stat line. Summoning Earth Essence on Fanfare is very good, and whenever you play a Fanfare, just burn your opponent, which is what Earth Rune wants to do anyway. Next we have Wise Dragonewt Scholar, 3-mana 2/3 gold Dragoncraft follower. Fanfare, discard a card from your hand, then draw a card, and it cannot be attacked. And on evolve, it has the same effect. So this card seems pretty good, especially for the aggro Dragoncraft deck that people want to build now with all the new support. Since it can't be attacked, it's much harder to get rid of. They have to use a removal spell on it, and it just lets you discard your cards that are unwanted and attempt to get new, better cards. It's a very solid card. Next we have Seductress Vampire, 8-mana 4/4 Bloodcraft legendary. During your turn, when this card is added to your hand from your deck, if Vengeance is not active for you, reveal it and then banish it. Vengeance is now active for you for the rest of the match, even if your leader's defense is more than 10. And Fanfare, deal 4 damage to enemy, then restore 4 defense to your leader. So it still has the, Vampire Temptress Vampire? It still has the same effect, but scaled down since it went down 1 cost. But this effect is just insane, since the whole identity of Bloodcraft was basically deal damage to the point where you are low enough to get Vengeance active for you and get all these very powerful effects. But with this card, it basically says F that, and now just draw this, and you just potentially draw this card or add it with like the 3-mana spell that you add 2 random creatures from your deck into your hand, and then you get 2 1/1s. So you could just grab it, and now you have Vengeance active for you, and now you could be at 20 life and still have Vengeance active for you, and you don't even need to use Blood Moon, which is what mainly is important because the only way we got Vengeance outside of 10 health was with Blood Moon. Now those creatures are irrelevant. You don't have to use Waltz. You don't have to use, I think it was Lycos. You have to use any of that. So, great card, but we're straying away further of what Bloodcraft traditionally was. Sadly, the last deck we ever had that really emphasized what Bloodcraft does was DFB, since it's all about pinging yourself and dealing damage to yourself. But now Machina doesn't really care. You're just playing a bunch of dudes and then just doing a bunch of damage with like Slain and Mono. And this one takes away the strategy of going down into Vengeance and then doing a lot of damage from there. So we're gonna see how this card shakes up the metagame with, and will most likely build a new Bloodcraft deck, or just bring back the hand buff, because there's a lot more cards that help with the hand buff, especially with this new card, Entrancing Blow, 2 mana bronze spell for Bloodcraft. Give +2/+0 to a Bloodcraft follower in your hand and deal 3 damage to a random enemy follower. So yeah, it can only be played when you have a targetable card in your hand. So this is just basically buff a card in your hand and deal 3 damage to an enemy. If you play it on turn 2, it basically just kills whatever your opponent played on turn 2 if you went second. Or if you play on turn 3, still a very good card. So, yeah, some cards like these just help out a lot with the hand buff blood. Next we have Tithi, Underworld Shaman, 7 mana, 1/9 silver follower for Shadowcraft. As Ward and Fanfare, Burial Rite, put a random 3-point follower and a random 1 play point follower from your deck into play. The stat line is weird since it's 7 mana 1/9. This is pretty weird. It does have Ward, so it protects the small guys you bring in. Yeah, it's just a weird card. Like these effects are actually very powerful that you bring out just for basically discarding a card from your hand. You get a 3-point and a 1 play point follower, and this protects it, and it has a 9 defense, so it will protect them very efficiently. But yeah, it's still pretty weird. Yeah. Next we have Steelwing, 5 mana 4/5 bronze Havencraft follower, has the Machina trait, has Rush and Strike. When others follow attacks, you summon Assembly Droid. Great card for Lamonia, since it just 2 bodies for Lamonia's spell. Her effect, just destroy them, and has Rush, so it means it'll very likely chance that it'll get a 2-for-1. It'll die very quickly. Next we have Kel, Holy Marksman, 4 mana 4/3 gold Havencraft follower. Whenever your leader's defense is restored, deal 1 damage to all enemy followers, and evolve restore defense to your leader. But instead of 1 damage, now 2 damage. So this is how Kel should have been. The old Kel was 2 mana 2/2. Whenever your leader's life is restored, deal 2 damage to the enemy leader. That was basically it. But this one, more aggressive stat line, but it does an AoE effect, and when you evolve it, it also restores your leader to trigger its AoE effect. And when you evolve it, it does 2 damage instead, which is usually will clear most of a board. So yeah, pretty good. Next we have Greater Lesser Mummy, 2 mana 2/2 Shadowcraft follower, is vanilla, but if you evolve it, if another ally follower is in play, perform Necromancy 8, give Storm to another ally follower. This card is potentially scary, since yeah, it's potentially scary. Giving something Storm is insane, especially for Shadowcraft. It can get Necromancy very quickly, especially with the new PTP Legendary. Your deck is going to get shadows like crazy, just trying to get the PTP range. So yeah. Next we have Fatal Fields, 4 mana, silver amulet. Countdown 2, at the end of your turn, destroy a random allied follower and a random enemy follower. What do I think Fatal Fields is from? Fortnite? I don't know. I forgot what was the name of that place. But yeah, if you don't have a follower, this card is basically Tribunal from Haven. Just destroy a random enemy follower for 4 mana. cross 2 turns. Yeah, just cross 2 turns. Destroying one of your followers. It'll usually be like destroy one of your followers and destroy 2 of your opponent's followers, since if you play this on 4, you'll probably have a naked board. So yeah, that's still a very good card for more of a controlling Shadowcraft deck. Next we have Elana, Purest Prayer. 2 mana 2/2 legendary Havencraft follower. Has ward, but when you evolve it, you summon Elana's Prayer. And that is why all these new life gain cards for Haven are coming out to support the new Elana's Prayer. Thank God this came out now and not like last set, since we still had Tenko Shrine, and Tenko Shrine with Elana's Prayer back into rotation is not a pretty sight. Yeah, I'm very excited for this card, and I really want to try Elana's Prayer back in rotation. And since they did it on the Evolve, that means you can't play Elana's Prayer on 3 mana. So it's much slower than the old Elana's Prayer. But it's on a 2 mana 2/2 ward, which is already nice stats, and it evolves for full stats. So yeah. Next we have Splendorous Roc, Dragonewt, 3 mana 3/3 bronze follower. Fanfare in hand 6. Evolve this follower, and whenever this follower attacks, gain +1/+1 to end a turn. Yeah, just a decent bronze follower. Next we have Hulking Dragonewt, 8 mana 7/4 Dragoncraft legendary. Has rush, ward, and can't take more than 1 damage at a time. But when you evolve it, still has the same keywords, same stats, but it can't be destroyed by spells or effects. So basically, this is basically a giant wall for Dragoncraft. Just a giant wall. Next we have Heartsick Demon, 2 mana 2/2 gold follower. Fanfare, if Vengeance is active for you, subtract 1 from the cost of 2 Bloodcur cards in your hand, excluding itself, so you can't subtract the cost of another Heartsick Demon. But this card's also very good for the hand buff blood deck, since you can just make stuff like, I think it was Laura, and all those other stuff much cheaper, so you can just combo off and just kill your opponent very quickly. Next we have Magna Giant, 7 mana 5/5 Portalcraft Machina legendary. Accelerate 1 per random Machina card, excluding itself, from your deck into your hand. And as ward in Fanfare, deal X damage to all enemy followers. X equals the number of allied Machina followers destroyed this match. This card seems very good, especially since Machina is all about just summoning little weenies like the assembly droids, and then they're all dying. Fanfare literally just clear your opponent's board in the 7 mana 5/5 ward. But your Accelerator 1 is basically a draw card, but for specifically a Machina card, which is what you really want. So you can get like your Techno Lords, your Goblins, the new 3/4 that subtracts cost from your Machina cards in hand. Just a bunch of good stuff for Portalcraft and Machina. Next we have Okami of Eldwood, Forestcraft legendary, 7 mana 4/5, has Storm. And Fanfare, return 2 allied followers or amulets to your hand, summon X Okamis. X is the number of returned cards. Whenever an allied Okami comes into play, give it Rush. And yeah, that's basically it. I forgot how the stats of Okami. I'll put it on screen right now. But yeah, it summons those things. And yeah, it's pretty good for 7 mana. And a Storm. Next we have Jostling Demon, sorry. 2 mana 3/2 bronze Bloodcraft follower. Fanfare, deal 2 damage to your leader if Vengeance is not active for you. Deal 2 damage to the enemy leader if Vengeance is active for you. So this is basically from what the look of the art is basically the old 1 mana 1/1 that dealt 1 damage to both leaders, but in like upgraded form. And yeah, it's a very aggressively side, being a 2 mana 3/2, and dealing 2 damage to your leader is fine. You know, it's not that bad, but dealing 2 damage to the enemy leader of Vengeance activity is pretty insane, because that means this helps with the hand buff blood, since it just helps do an extra 2 damage if you need it for 2 mana to your opponent's face, and it's very good stats. Next we have Nightmare Ruin Dream Bloodcraft, 2 mana 1/1 silver follower. Fanfare, gain +2/+0 if Vengeance is active for you. Last word, summon a force bat and give it +X+O. X equals the attack of this follower before being destroyed. So yeah. Basically, Avenge is active for you. You summon a 2-mana 3/1 and it dies. You get another 3/1. Or a 4/1, sorry. So even by itself, it's a 2-mana 1/1 and it dies. You get a 2/1 out of it. So it's still very good, even if you don't have Vengeance active for you. So yeah. And next we have Azazel, Corrupted Darkness. Bloodcraft, Gold Follower, 4-mana 3/3. Fanfare, deal 2 damage to enemy follower if Vengeance is active for you. Deal 6 damage instead. And on the evolve, change your leader's maximum defense to 10. Give your leader the following effect. Can't take more than 3 damage at a time. This effect is not stackable and lasts for the rest of the match. So with this card, helps you get into Vengeance much quicker and is a way to protect yourself from, let's say, Mysteria Wincon, the Ann's Great Sorcery, and other big cards such as that. Yeah, pretty good. Next we have Reheat, Spinning Cogwheel, Portalcraft, 2-mana 1/1, Silver Follower. Fanfare, put a puppet into your hand. Whenever an allied puppet comes into play, restore 1 defense to your leader. And on the evolve, you put a puppet into your hand. Very good for Lashana, since it is another way to make puppets and heals you. So it's a good way to answer, Aggro Dragon. Next we have Zwei, Resonant Heart, 5-mana 4/4, Portal Legendary. Accelerate to summon 2 puppets, and Fanfare, put 2 puppets into your hand. And on the evolve, you summon Victoria. So it's and in the evolve, it's the same stats. So this card is very good. Yeah, it's very good, especially for, like I said, Lashana and all the types of decks that want to summon puppets. Since on it, 2 mana replaces the old 2-mana spell that just gave you puppets to your hand, which I think we still have in rotation. And Fanfare, you put 2 puppets in your hand. Being a 5-mana 4/4, that's pretty good. And when you just evolve, you get a 3-mana 3/1 with Rush. Seems pretty good. Next we have Mino, Genius of Death, Shadowcraft, Bronze Follower, 1-mana 1/1. Fanfare, enhance 7, gain +5/+5, and gain 3 shadows, and as last words, gain 1 shadow. So very good card for, like I said, the PvP decks, since it gives you shadows when it dies. It's a very aggressive minion since it's a 1-mana 1/1, and yep, fits right into that deck. Next we have Machine Arm Prayer, Havencraft, Machina Follower, 2-mana 2/2 silver. Fanfare, put a repair mode into your hand, and whenever you play another Machina Follower, gain Bane. Mainly a way to, like, it's a good card in the Elana Prayers deck, but it's also a way to, you can mix Elana with Machina if you so desire. Still, very good card. Next we have Pure Spring, Elven Princess Mage. Forcecraft, 2-mana 2/2 silver follower. Has no stats, has no effect normally, but when you evolve it, you put a Fairy Wisp and a Fairy into your hand. So basically, this is like the older one where you just put 2 fairies into your hand, if I remember correctly. But this time, it's a much smaller minion, and it puts a Fairy Wisp and a Fairy into your hand, so it helps you combo off much easier. I'm thinking this card could be played in like the Unlimited Roach decks, because it just gives you cards, like very good cards. Next we have Angel Shoot. It's a neutral gold spell, 4 mana. Banish enemy follower amulet. Both players draw a card. Seems pretty good by itself. Unconditional removal. You draw, it replaces itself at the cost of your opponent drawing a card. You both don't go Negro Plus, since you get rid of their card with your card, and then it replaces itself, and your opponent replaces the card with a new card they draw. Still very good card. Better than what we had before. Was it like Falling Angel? Next we have Heavy Armor Goliath, neutral, 4-mana 3/4 bronze follower. Fanfare enhance 7, gain +4/+4, and Fanfare enhance 10, gain +4/+4 more. So Goliath is back, the OG 4 mana 3/4 bronze follower, but with an added effect. But now if you play him on 7, he's a 7 mana 7/8. But if you play him on 10, he's a 10 mana 11/12, which is huge. So he's probably going to be amazing in Take 2 or Open 6. In Constructed, I don't see him doing much, since he's just basically a big beat stick vanilla. Next we have 2 mana 2/1 Beautiful Fencer, Swordcraft, Silver Follower. It's a commander. Fanfare, give +1/+1 to an allied officer, and Fanfare enhance 5, then give it Storm. Can side game stop printing cards that just give things randomly Storm? Storm is literally one of the most OP mechanics in this game, and like if it gave it Rush, I would like it more, but no, just gives it Storm. Next, you have Cat Spirit Cannoneer, 2 mana 2/1 Portalcraft, Rush, Fanfare. Put 2 ancient artifacts into your deck. If I remember correctly, the ancient artifacts are the 3 ones with Rush, just like the old Cannoneer did, but this one's a smaller version. So yeah, still a very good card, especially this is a 2 mana 2/1 Rush. And lastly, we have Imina, Eidolon of Madness, 4 mana 1/3 Fanfare, Transform. Oh, I forgot it's Havencraft legendary, but it's pretty obvious. Fanfare, transform enemy follower, excluding itself, into an Idol of Madness if there isn't an enemy Idol of Madness in play. And as Clash, give the enemy follower -4/-0 until the end of your opponent's turn if there is an enemy Idol of Madness in play. And on the Evolve, it has the effect of whenever you play a countdown amulet for the first time on each of your turns, subtract 4 from the amulet countdown, which is the main effect. Well, both are very great effects, but this Evolve effect is very good, very, very good. Especially since you play this, it survives, especially since with the Eidolon of Madness, so they can't really swing into this without losing 4 life, 4 attack from that minion. And then you could play the, if I remember correctly, the 5 mana amulet that summons the Barong, and then it will die, and then you summon another Barong, so you summon 2 Barongs on turn 5. That's pretty nuts. And what is the Idol of Madness? Well, it's a amulet that has countdown to last words from a random enemy follower, excluding Imina of Eidolon of Madness into an Idol of Madness if there is an enemy Idol of Madness in play. So basically, you summon the Idol of Madness, you transform an enemy follower into Idol of Madness, then it dies in 2 turns, and then one of your minions that's not Imina will turn into Idol of Madness. And then it'll just keep going back and forth, back and forth. As long as Idol Madness is on your opponent's board, it will... all your opponent's minions will lose 4 attack if they attack into Imina. So it's basically like Imina had... what was it? A way to remove a creature and a way to protect itself. So yeah, very good card. Very good card. I am very excited for this. Like 2 new ways to play Havencraft in rotation again. That is in well, Tenko Shrine and Elana's are basically the same thing, except 2 different ways to win. And this just brings upon a new deck in general. So yeah, that's it for the reveals so far. What cards did you guys like from today? What cards do you think we'll see? There's I think 14 more slots left into the set. And I think we still haven't seen the new Erd. I really want to know what she does. So next video will probably be when the full set is out. And that's pretty much it for the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And Gene out.